Okay, hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Tea Time with me, Darius and Anucauskas. Today's the 7th of August 2019. So welcome everyone. Welcome to this Wednesday's afternoon session where we're gonna have a quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest, and we can continue. Also, just before we jump into the charts, quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel here, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos. And of course our JFD website, jfdbank.com, but specifically if you click here on JFD research, it will take you to our page that we update on a daily basis. We throw out different various analysis, and I believe you can find them useful, so please check us out here, guys. And yep, I hope you like them. And right now, let's jump into the charts. Now the first one I want to touch on here is the Dow. Now of course, looking at this picture yesterday, the US equity markets have closed in the positive territory, and you can see that here. So but looking at the cash index right now, we can see that it is moving away from this level here. Because yesterday, as you know, the index closed above the 26,000 level, so just slightly above that. And but looking at the cash index right now, of course, it is kind of taking a hit. It seems that it's willing to slide further down. It's actually now back below the 25,700 zone. So of course, keep your eyes on this one. So for now, of course, we will probably see a nice gear here, opening gap to the downside, and in a way it didn't quite travel all the way here towards this key area of resistance near the 26,250 level that I was talking about previously when I was covering Dow Jones. But it started reversing to the downside. At least the scenario here, the main scenario, is working out. So it is kind of like I said, the cash index is currently moving below the 25,700 level, and the next area for us is going to be this one right here near the 25,523, which is the lowest lowest point of this week so far, of course. But if this gets broken, then, well, we need to go hunting for a new potential area of support. So of course, one of the good ones could be near the 24,680, but that's quite a big of a move here. So in a way, initially what we could target here is this 25,218 zone, marked by the high of the 30th of May. We'll keep a close eye on that one. Of course, slightly below that, we do have that psychological 25,000 level, which also could play out nicely. So for now, basically, the idea here that we've got is that, given that it's now breaking the cash index is now breaking the 25,700 level, this increases the chances for a further move lower. But just like I said, for that maybe better confirmation, a drop below the 25,523 would confirm a forthcoming lower low, and we could initially aim for the 25,218 or the psychological 25,000 level. So in a way, it would be quite interesting to see if actually the 25,000 level could be reached today, or let's say it's at least this week, because in a matter of let's put it that way, it would be that something like in a week and a half the index would drop about 2,000 points. So that's why, guys, for now, be very careful with this one, especially be very careful with the upside. In terms of the upside, if it pushes above the yesterday's highs, which are near, let me just quickly mark that, which are near the 26,038 zone here. If we get a nice good push above it, then yep, we will aim for that 200 EMA here on the 4-hour chart, and of course this 26,250 level. So we'll keep it up until here. But if this gets a break and we see a further move higher above the 26,465, now this is where it could become a little bit more interesting for the buyers, as we could see more upside, at least a little bit more here. But again, like I said, we will consider that the upside if initially we see a push above the 200 EMA, but then if we get a nice confirmation break above the 26,465. So keep your eyes on that one, guys. But again, like I said, for now we are more bearish than bullish on the Dow Jones. Silver had a nice run here today. It managed to reach this little high here near the almost managed to reach near the 17 level here, but just fell shy of a few points from hitting that and quickly reversed back to the downside. So now it's currently sitting at around 16.90 level. So looking at this picture, you can see that of course overall silver is still within an uptrend. It's still climbing higher, and especially after it broke above this key area of resistance near the 16.65 level, and this kind of opened the path towards these higher levels. It opened the path towards that 17 zone. Like I said, today the commodity was not able to reach the 17, just fell shy of a few points. Maybe we will still see the 17 level getting hit today. Let's wait and see. But for now, of course, looking at this picture, we are still more positive than negative on this one, and to be honest, we are just positive on this one because it's, like I said, still within an uptrend, still trading above this tentative upside support line taken from the high, taken from the low of the 9th of July. And for now, in a way, any little pullback here, any little throwback here would be seen as a temporary correction. From the short-term perspective, in a way, what you could do here is, if we see a drop below the 16.65 level, then in a way you could aim for maybe a bit of a larger correction here to the downside, initially just aiming for this upside support line, and then we'll take it from there, see what he wants to do after. For now, like I said, until it's kind of trading above this 16.65, we will consider all that as a temporary correction before another leg of buying here. But for those who are more on the cautious side, what you could do here is just wait for a clear push above the 16.99 level, and then aim for slightly higher levels, of course the 17 level and above that. But just to show you what we could target here is, if we get a nice good push above the 17 zone, then the next potential area of resistance could be seen around here near the 17.31 zone, approximately there. That's basically the highest point of June 2018. So quite an important level this one is. So we're not far from it, and we just need a good push above the 17 zone, and then yep, like I said, we will target that area because, like I said, it is quite a strong one here, because as you can see, in June it kind of held the price down, and from there the precious metal slid and kind of sold off heavily. So we are, like I said, we are approaching that level again, but we just need that confirmation break again above the 17 zone before kind of targeting that June of 2018 high. And in terms of, like I said, the downside, again, from the very short-term perspective, we are going to be looking for this 16.65 zone. If we get a nice drop below this, then yep, we will aim for this upside support line initially. But if that fails to withhold, then yep, further declines could be possible. But let's initially get there. DXY, the dollar index. So looking at this picture here, we can see that it kind of slid lower. So basically it worked out nicely. So in one of my previous videos I looked at DXY, and this is what I was saying, that if we see a drop below the 98 zone, this in a way creates an opportunity for further move lower. We could test this upside support line here taken from the low of the 25th of June, and as you can see, initially I was targeting the 200 EMA, but it kind of overshot it and tested this upside support line, so which is also not bad, I would say. Good call here. But now what's happening here now is that basically we're going to shift our kind of level here where from which we will consider further decline. So initially basically we need to see a drop below this upside support line, and ideally we'd like to see a drop below the low of the yesterday's low, basically, which was near the 97.21 zone. And if we get a break below this, then yep, we will aim for the next potential area of support near the 96.67, which is the low of the 18th of July. Now then, that said, until it's kind of trading above this upside support line, in a way we cannot really that easily talk about the downside. So we need to see a few breaks here before we could aim further down. So in a way, and as long as it kind of remains above this upside support line, we will have to kind of stick to the upside. The only thing is we will be very careful here, and even if it, let's say, travels lower and tests this upside support line, let's say if it makes a nice reversal here and pushes a little bit higher, still we're going to be very careful, because for us, ideally, we will wait for a clear break above the 97.76 zone before targeting some higher levels. So in a way, if I'm going to drag this highlighted area right here, this is what we need. We need to see a nice good push above this level here before kind of aiming for the upside again. Even, like I said, even if it stays above this upside support line, still just for that better confirmation, wait for that clear break above the 97.75 and then aim for higher levels. For now, this is going to be our little neutral, somewhat of a neutral territory here. Like I said, for the downside, we will be waiting here for a break of this upside support line, or but ideally we'd like to see a drop below the 97.21 before kind of aiming before considering further declines, because this way the index would confirm a forthcoming lower low, and we could then aim for this 96.67. So keep your eyes on down. USDCHF, you can see it's taking a big hit right now, and I mean, looking at this picture, you can see that it tried to overcome this 0.9797 level. It did reach this target when I was previously covering this one. This was our level that we're keeping an eye on after we had a little reversal here back to the upside. So this 0.9797 acted as a fantastic area of resistance. So you can see that now the bears are pushing this one further down. Of course, this is now sliding lower and is getting closer to the recent lows, or should I say this week's lows. And for now, if we're going to look at this picture here, what we're going to do here is going to aim for this week's lows, but to be honest, ideally we would like to see a drop below the 0.9630 zone. Let me just double check this. 0.9692 zone here, which is the lowest point of June this year. So in a way, if we see a drop below the 0.969290 area, then in a way this would confirm a forthcoming lower low, and we could start targeting areas like the 0.9670 initially, or the 0.9635. And just let me show you what those levels were in the past here. We need to jump into a daily, and as you can see, let me just quickly zoom in here a little bit. So as you can see, the 0.9635 here was one of the areas of support, previous support, like the low of the 25th of September. But like I said, further declines, yep, could bring the rate could bring towards this area, for example, of support near the 0.95 42 zone, approximately there. Basically that's the lowest point of September 2018. So but again, before we could examine that, first let's wait for that confirmation break. Again, like I said, the pair is sliding right now and it's aiming for this week's lows, but ideally in order to kind of get comfortable with further declines, a drop below the 0.9692 level is required in order to kind of aim for further declines. In terms of the upside, still for us the same level remains, the 0.9797. A break above this would could in a way open the path towards at least slightly higher levels. GBPNZD, I talked about this one this morning, and basically I was talking about this downside resistance line, and which could in a way play out as a nice area of support. And you can see we had a beautiful test of that line. We had a great test of this 1.8830 zone, which didn't break, and this is what I was talking about. If we see a drop below this, then in a way this increases the chances for maybe a small for a further move to the downside here, but as you can see, this area here held, and the rate is now rebounding and trying to make its way back up again. So of course all this is for now looking somewhat more bullish than bearish. Of course, for those who are more on the cautious side, you could in a way wait until this, let's say, climbs back above the today's highs near the 1.9062 zone, approximately there, and then aim for higher levels, because like I said, for now it is a bit of a tricky one. We are of course somewhat more bullish than bearish in this one, but ideally we'd like to see that confirmation break. This way a break above the 1.9062 would confirm a forthcoming higher high, and we could then aim for these higher levels. But like I said, for now be very careful here. If let's say this pair suddenly drops back below this downside line, then yep, I mean it could increase the pair's chances for a drift further down here. And one of the levels that we're going to be keeping a close eye on is going to be around here near the 1.87 zone, or even actually going further down here, we could target this little area right here near the 1.8525 zone. So keep your eyes on that one. But that, like I said, that's in the scenario if we see a drop below this downside resistance line. So keep your eyes on this one. For now, we are having a nice rebound. Let's see if the pair can stay here above this downside line. If it can, then we could see another push higher, maybe tomorrow or maybe on Friday. So but basically by the end of this week we could see another push higher here. So keep your eyes on that one. And the last pair very quickly to talk about here is the Euro USD. So I've mentioned this one previously in one of my videos, and basically what I was saying that after the pair broke this downside resistance line, it traveled higher, and then quickly retraced back down, but still kind of remained above this 1.1190 level. And I do understand it got violated a few times here, but still it's kind of acting as a nice area of support, or even actually I wouldn't say maybe support, but an important level for Euro USD. So for now we can actually now get rid of that for at the moment. But as you can see, the pair is pushing higher now. It's pushing towards the or even actually pushing above the 1.1225 zone now, and in a way, if this is what I was saying previously, if we see a push above the 1.1225, it increases the chances for a further move higher. Initially we will target the this little high here near the 1.1250 zone, approximately around there. But if this fails to withhold, now this is where it could become interesting for the bulls, because this would confirm a forthcoming higher high, and we could target the 1.1280 zone, which previously acted as a fantastic area of resistance back here in July. So around mid-July, so keep your eyes on this one. But again, like I said, for now, yes, we are having a nice push above the 1.1225. Let's see if it can continue traveling towards the 1.1250. But if it gets a break above this one, then like I said, this is where it could become a little bit more exciting, because this would confirm a forthcoming higher high, and we could aim for this 1.1280. We're only going to drag it up until here, and then we'll take it from there. In terms of the downside, well, we need to see a drop below the 1.1163 zone, approximately around there, and only then we will consider let's say some lower levels, or at least the 1.11 zone again. Okay guys, I hope you found it useful. Thank you very much for sticking around and watching until the end. If you want to join me tomorrow morning, as always, I'm a Trader's Espresso. That's 6 o'clock GMT time. For now, I hope you have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.